Hi, everyone. I'm Lucia. One morning, the whole school got together outside. No one was in class, not even the teachers. Everyone was watching the road, but the person we were waiting for arrived by air. A huge helicopter landed on an empty lot next to the school. 2 bodyguards, one male and one female, came out first, followed by a girl our age. It was Sophia, the president's daughter. She walked to the school flanked by her bodyguards. The principal was waiting for her on a platform. The bodyguards had to cut through the crowd to make way for her. All the kids wanted to touch the president's daughter. Sophia went up to stand with the principal. She greeted us with a fake smile. Everyone, the students and the teachers, were applauding. The male bodyguard leaned into the mic. He said tersely, "Those of you who want to take a selfie with Sophia, form a line. You need to keep your distance and stay at least 3 feet away from her. If you break this rule, you will regret it." For me, this was incredibly rude, but nobody else seemed to care. People formed a long selfie line in a second. We were really surprised when we found out that the president's daughter was transferring to our school. She had been attending a prestigious private school. We live in a small country in South America. Security is an issue here. Why did Sophia change schools? Wasn't it too risky for her to go to a regular public school? After the madness was over, I thought I could go to my class. Just as I was walking past Sophia, our eyes met. She was surprised that I wasn't joining the selfie line. With a smirk on her face, she said, "Hey, I can make an exception for you if you want to selfie with me." "Thanks, but this selfie business is ridiculous," I replied. My answer annoyed her. I kept walking before she could say anything. I had no idea I had just made the biggest enemy of my life. The next morning, I was in for a surprise. Sophia's bodyguards were outside the classroom, searching everyone trying to go inside. So the president's daughter was in my class. When the female bodyguard told me to raise my arms, I blurted out, "You could be more polite." "Stop telling me how to do my job," she growled. Just as she was letting me through, Sophia yelled from inside the classroom, "Search her again. She looks suspicious to me." When the bodyguard began patting me down again, I was so annoyed. I walked up to Sophia and said, "Who do you think you are?" She gave me a condescending look and said, "I'm the president's daughter." "Who are you?" When the teacher walked in, I couldn't go on. That was our first fight with Sophia. The whole class, the teacher, was looking only at Sophia, and everyone else was staring at her too, but she was only interested in her phone. When she got up and took a selfie, I thought the teacher would definitely say something. If this had been a regular student, she would have sent her to the principal's office right away. Instead, the teacher said, "I follow you on Instagram. Maybe you could do a favor for your teacher and follow me back?" It was so pathetic. No wonder she was acting like a spoiled brat when everyone around her was spoiling her. Between classes, all the students were coming to talk to Sophia. I was the only one keeping my distance. She was aware of this and didn't like it at all. Wasn't she satisfied with all the attention she was getting from hundreds of people around her? Why did she want my attention as well? I really did not understand it. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks so much. The more I tried to steer clear of Sophia, the more I ran into her. At the cafeteria, just when it was my turn to get lunch, she stepped right in front of me with her 2 bodyguards. "There's a line here!" I screamed. Sophia didn't even turn to look. The male bodyguard said, "The line is for people like you." This girl and her bodyguards were the most obnoxious people. That day, we were having pizza for lunch. When I looked up for my food, our eyes met again. Sophia was staring at me. She was sitting with her female bodyguard. The bodyguard took a bite out of Sophia's pizza slice. Then she sat still for a while as if she was enjoying the pizza. I thought, why is she eating Sophia's pizza instead of getting some for herself? I figured it out when she said to Sophia, "It's all right, ma'am, you can eat it." The bodyguard was making sure the pizza wasn't poisoned. If she didn't get sick, then she'd let Sophia have the rest. Life as we knew it ended after Sophia came to our school. But for some reason, I was the only person that seemed to be bothered by this. For example, the guards would rush into a restroom full of students and scream, "Everyone out now!" And people would leave without saying a word. Once while I was inside one of the stalls, someone started banging on the door. I figured it must be the bodyguards trying to get everyone out. This was the perfect opportunity for me. I could let everyone know what we were going through. I took out my phone and started recording. "What's wrong?" I screamed. The bodyguard said, "Miss Sophia needs to use the bathroom. Get out now." These toilets are not good enough for Miss Sophia's butt because they're not gold-plated. I replied. The guard got really mad and kicked down my door. Normally, I would have been scared, but I was happy because I was recording everything. I smiled at the broken door and walked out saying, "Oh, I was just about to leave. Thank you for opening the door for me." When I went home that night, I uploaded my video to TikTok. Pretty soon it went viral. It got so many views. The whole country learned about the trouble the president's daughter was causing at our school. I was so happy to be the person they heard it from. When I went to school on Monday, I was hoping Sophia would act somewhat differently. I walked into the classroom and Sophia stood up. In a commanding voice, she said, "Come with me." So I followed her out. I knew that something was going on because the bodyguards were giggling as they followed us. Sophia brought me to the restroom. We went in. There was a sign on the door of the first stall which said, "Attention, no entry, private property." Sophia opened the door. Inside was a shiny golden toilet. Sophia said with a smirk, "You said gold-plated toilet, but I thought I'd get a solid gold one instead. Thanks for giving me the idea." I said, "You're out of your mind," and left. Unfortunately, my biggest enemy was the president's daughter, and it was impossible for me to compete with her. Sophia was obsessed with me and showing how much she hated me every chance she got. I was so overwhelmed that I wanted to change schools. My heart would start pounding as I was coming to school in the morning. I would think, I wonder what Sophia will do to me today. One day, I came to school in a bad mood again. I noticed that the guards who were searching us every morning were gone. Yay! Sophia's not at school today, I thought. I hopped inside, but Sophia was there in class. I was surprised. Normally, she'd always be surrounded by people. Many people, in fact. But now she was alone. There was a guy who tried to hang out with her all the time. I walked up to him. "Marco, what's going on?" I asked. He said, "Oh, haven't you heard?" And I said, "No, I didn't hear anything. What is it?" He started telling me the story. The president was arrested last night. He was implicated in a multi-billion-dollar corruption scandal. Apparently, federal inspectors had been collecting evidence for a long time. The gold toilet in our school restroom was on TV. That counted as evidence as well. The news said it cost $250,000. Marco stopped. He glanced at Sophia. He raised his voice just enough for her to hear us. Can you imagine? Our president's dear daughter was relieving herself into a toilet that cost $250,000. Oh, sorry. I meant our ex-president's daughter, he said, and let out a laugh. Sophia heard him all right. She put her head down and started crying. Normally, Marco would try to suck up to Sophia and ask her things like, "Can I get you some coffee? Do you want me to give you a shoulder massage?" Now he was trying to hurt her instead. It was really obvious why, because Sophia's reign was over. Sophia looked pretty sad. I couldn't help myself. I went over to her. "Look, your dad might have done something bad, but you're not responsible for it. You need to let it go," I offered. She looked at me. "I asked my dad to get me that gold toilet. I was so mad after watching your TikTok video. I had to get back at you somehow. I thought about having a gold toilet and told my dad. He got it made right away. Now that same gold toilet is the most important piece of evidence against him. I'm the reason this happened to him. That's why I hate myself," she said. I said to her, "Let's go get something to drink." As usual, there was a line at the cafeteria. We got to the end of the line. The girl in front of us said, "Wow, look, if it isn't the princess with the gold toilet. I thought you never waited in line. What happened? Is your father not the president anymore?" Of course she knew about what had happened. Sophia had nothing to say to that. She looked away. We got some juice and sat down at a table. I said, "You know what? Until this morning, you were my worst enemy, but I don't feel that way anymore." Sophia asked why. "Because now I understand that Sophia was not my worst enemy. It was the president's daughter. You're not the president's daughter anymore, so you're not my enemy. And I think the president's daughter was your enemy too. I'm sure from now on, you will have a happier life as just Sophia." She looked at me. "You're right. Thank you for showing me this. Yesterday, I had hundreds of people around me, but you weren't one of them. Today, nobody wants to be near me except you. This is the biggest lesson of my life, but it's too late for regret. I have to live with this shame for the rest of my life." That was my last conversation with Sophia because she never came back to school again. Word was that she moved to another country with her mom. Her dad, the president, was prosecuted and found guilty. This incident is officially known as the gold toilet scandal. It's so weird that I was a part of this historical event, since without me, that toilet wouldn't have existed.